Hi, everybody. This is Laurie Handlers, and you're listening to another episode of Sex and Happiness, a show about sex and happiness.
Woo!
As simple as that. And I am joined today by my dear friend, Matilda, who has just explained to me what her last name means, Gregersdotter. And
Yes.
she's going to tell us a little bit about that. And just want to tell you who she is. Matilda is the founder for Coach Training School, Evolvia Coach Training in Iceland, of all places. And the truth is, that's where Matilda and I met in Iceland. It was because of her that I went to Iceland, and finally, after the second trip, experienced the Northern Lights. So I consider her to be not only a good friend, but also a major contributor to the cosmology, the things, the surreal things that have happened in my life. And so she's a founder of this coach training school, but she also is an organizer for ISTA, International School of Temple Arts, and that's how we met.
Mhm.
And Matilda has a new book, and that's what we're going to talk about today. This new book, why she wrote it, what it is, how you can get it, etc. And I think she had me read a chapter of it and do some recording for her about it, and I'm impressed. And I know when she was thinking about this, when she was contemplating this, so I'm very excited about it. So, Matilda, welcome to Sex and Happiness.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited to to
Yeah.
talk and share together.
So tell me, let's tell a little bit. You just told me before we actually went on air, the foundation of your name, Gregor's
Mhm.
daughter, and because you didn't grow up in Iceland.
No, I grew up right outside Stockholm, so I'm Swedish. But today I also have an Icelandic citizenship, so I'm both actually now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. But when we were supposed to get married, me and my Icelandic husband, who I met in Sweden, the question was what name to take. And in Iceland, they don't call that they have last names. It's who they are. They are someone's son or someone's daughter. They always, most often they have after the fathers. Yeah, so there was a suggestion that I took the name after my father, who is Gregor. So I'm Gregor's daughter. That's how the name came about.
Wow, it's so cool. My last name is not supposed to be Handlers. My grandfather and his brother, when they came to the United States, they took Handlers out of the phone book.
Mm.
But the family name was Davidson. So that's
Mhm.
funny because that would mean that I was the son of your husband.
Yeah, exactly. Son David, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
But I think it was supposed to be David, like David and Goliath, like that. I think that's where the name came from. But they took Handlers and that stuck. So that's my name.
Mhm.
Anyway, great story. So you're in Iceland. You started this coaching school.
Mhm.
And like, tell us just a little bit about, because I mean, how did you get to be this? Like, did your parents raise you to say, you're going to make a difference in people's lives? This is how you're going to do it. What did they want you to do?
Well, I guess if I would like tell my story in just a few sentences, it would
Yeah.
be I lived with parents which actually had lived an open relationship. So that was like one large piece that we could talk about, that's like a huge piece. So that was very like different upbringing. And then I was introduced to landmark education, which was transformational work. And I trained
Hmm.
everything, as also know that background.
I certainly do.
Yeah. So that was fantastic. And then while moving to Iceland, no one talked about coaching and transformation in 15 years ago. So I just needed to kind of start to talk about that. And then it's become that I train others. I've trained trainers. I've trained many people, most people who are coaches in Iceland, and we also coach internationally or train people internationally. So I have a huge amount of training in presence and in transformational work with people, and all this have kind of trained also my body to be present. Yeah, so this has been like the beginning of the journey, and then we haven't talked about the title of the book yet and what
No, I wanted people to be on the edge of their chairs. So tell the title of the book.
Yeah, the title of the book is Daily Sex.
Daily sex. Like, it doesn't get any better than that, everybody. You've been hearing me say this for years. Sex is so important to your happiness. And here's my friend who writes a book called Daily Sex. Like, yay. I'm really excited about it. So how did the idea come to you? Like, is it something you thought about for a long time? Does it have anything to do with your parents' influence? Like my parents would have influenced me to dance every day, but not sex.
No, my parents did not influence me to have sex every day. It actually comes as an invitation from my husband. And just to tell you the background, so we are married since '94. So we live together, for many years now, and we have 4 children. And this year I'm 50 years old. Yeah, and 12 years ago now, 2008, my dear life partner comes with this article, showing me an article about a couple who had sex daily. And we play a game of yes with each other. This is also a really fun conversation, but we say yes to each other instead of no. It's so easy in a couple to say, no, that's yours, no, but we instead of that, we have kind of turned it around. So when one of us comes with an offer, the job is to, oh, shoot, this is strange, but like turn it into a yes, Yeah, so in this case, I thought, okay, that's like daily what? Okay, yes, sure, let's try it, It's kind of funny, but yeah, let's try it. Yeah, so I turned it into a yes for me. And we started to have this activity of meeting so beautifully in sex daily. And what happens with my body with this activity is just a fantastic journey. That is the book today, because we still do that after 12 years. We're meeting sexually, daily. Yeah.
I ring the bell for you. 12 years of daily sex. Now, there's times when you're away, and I think there's also times when he's away.
Yes, of course, of course.
So
And
do you have phone sex, or do you have a holiday?
no, then we just take care of ourselves. So
Okay.
also, yeah, so it's not when someone is ill also, or it happens that we fail in getting together after conflict also. So of course it has happened that we don't meet, but it's more or less, like 99.9.
It's so great.
Mm.
It's really, to me, it's really the essence of really everything that I stand for, that I personally stand for. It's the essence of what I think ISTA stands for. It's the essence of what my partner and I stand for, like return to love. Like wherever you've been, whatever's happened, whatever the day has been like, return to love.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And what's so amazing is to like let go to the sexual flow, to intimacy, to just allow the bodies to start engaging. That's like the boot camp is kind of that, is to kind of let go. And it's so, it's so nourishing and so wonderful. And the sensation inside the body now, this is why I wrote the book, because people, when I have shared with people here and there over the years, how we live in this way, and they say, you should write a book, share, why don't you share about it? And
I know.
I have been frustrated. How could I ever, I don't know how to do
I
that.
said that to you. I know I said that to you.
Yeah. And how do you do that, Yeah, and now this is here. Can I show it?
Yes, of course.
This is
And the cover is beautiful. It's a gorgeous picture of you. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's 33 short chapters. Yeah, so I've kind of grasped a piece of something that I think, yeah, this is important to talk about. And then while writing, I'm mixing my bodily sensation while writing. So it becomes like a poetic or like speaking language, or like describing, not kind of traditionally academic language. It's very flowy, kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm.
Oh, Matilda, it's so good. I can just feel it. Like I can feel it on you,
Mm.
like I can feel it on you when you're talking about it.
Mm.
So, mm, very exciting.
Mm.
So, so how does your husband feel about it? How does David feel about it as you wrote about it? Does he have,
Well, if I could have chosen completely by myself, it would have been him and me and the dog on the cover.
right?
But he is not. He would not don't want to be in the process of being like part of it. So, which is
Yeah.
just, I just have to honor that. So
Yeah. But
happy for.
he inspired it. That's okay. He inspired it.
Well, he's living it, so very much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so you mentioned before your four children. I think I've met three of the four. Have I met all
Yeah,
four?
one is living in Sweden studying, so he's
Okay.
from.
So yeah, so I met three. They're violinists, they're musicians, they're talented children.
Hmm.
Um,
I
so
guess I can connect to that because we're kind of like a practice family. My partner was like an Icelandic champion in gymnastics when in his youth. I have run a few marathon just to see if I could do it. So I'm like pioneering coaching, have the most of hours sitting with someone coaching in Iceland. So we're very much for like practicing. So of course the children also with instruments or sports, they kind of, the habit of training something or practicing something, that also gives us the, like commitment for us. It comes from that also, to meet in this way. It's like a way of our thinking of kind of honoring and having this part of our intimacy like on the schedule in a way, in,
yeah,
in the day. Mm.
it's a commitment. I love that. I mean, for me, I always say to people, you need to have practices. You can't just, like in my book, you can't just read my book and then put it down. Like it's their practices. You can't just practice Tantra once.
Mm.
You have to, the reason it's called practice, you can't practice yoga once. The reason it's called practice is because that's exactly what it means, what you just said. You
Mm.
set a time, you make a commitment, and you keep the commitment, even if you don't want to keep it. That's a very landmark thing, You
Yeah,
give
but it's
your
also,
word.
it's such a challenge is that because it's when you don't feel like it, the whole thing is to let go, and come into love again, like you said also before.
Hmm.
And that's the whole like practice. So it's such a honorable to let go of irritation or anger. And we, of course, all our conflicts became a lot shorter because we want to kind of be able to be close. So it brought a lot of good in between us.
So good.
Mm.
Also, it brought a lot of oxytocin between you. 12 years of daily oxytocin is a really, really good thing.
Yeah, we're not sick. We're like never. We're very healthy people.
You get another bell for that. That's right. Listen, all you COVID people who want to survive COVID, start making love. Make love to yourself if you don't have anybody. And if you have somebody, start making love with somebody. Stop finding things wrong.
Yeah, and it's also the whole like the whole the book is actually sharing. It's not telling anyone to do what we're doing or anything like that. It's an aim to describe how the sensation, how the journey have been, what I've learned and what has happened with the body and how the body feels right now. So it's very intimate. It's like someone who read the chapter said it's like reading someone's diary. So it's very, very authentic and
Yeah.
raw. Yeah. Mm.
So for me, it's so exciting. I hope that my listeners listen. My listeners have been listening to me for a long time. And
Mm.
so what you're talking about is driving home the whole purpose of this show, sex and happiness.
Mm.
Be healthy, be happy, have oxytocin running through your body. Take it from some people. Look, she said she just turned 50, or you're turning 50.
I'm
So,
50 already. Yeah.
okay, you're 50. So you're not talking to somebody who's like 22. You're
Mm.
not talking to like a man whose testosterone is off the charts, and a woman whose, sex drive is off the charts. But because you keep things like this alive, then you have vitality that's off the charts.
Yes. And what's also have been a beautiful like creation and product out of this is when the writing was done and I was kind of done with that piece, all of a sudden I felt this like, can I release this now? Like the scarcity was so immense. I felt like I felt the shame of all, generations and lineages back and everything. So I thought, how do I do this? How do I send this out? So as you know, because you have been sharing with one chapters, I've been, for the 33 chapters, I've invited 2 people from my life from different times to read one chapter and then share with me. And, I had one of the last chapters I did, this woman was 73, and this man is in his 80s, and there's people from different ages and different, women and men, and and from different parts of the world. And it's so there's 33 of these beautiful sharing podcast things that is just extraordinary, full of wisdom, and I just love how it does not become my voice but many voices.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
Very, very beautiful. Now, there's an incident in your life, but it's more than an incident. There's a time in your life that I want to ask about because it's so intriguing to me. When I met you, you look pretty much like you look now. And you said to me, your hair was a little shorter, that's all. And you said to me, Laurie, if you had met me just a little while before, I made a statement. I shaved my head, and
Mm-hmm.
I wore my head like that. I wore my hair like that, no hair,
Mm-hmm.
for a very long time. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because what I love about you is your adventurousness.
Hmm. I'll
So,
I'll tell you because I think it's interesting. Yeah, just reflections, because I was in a Muslim country, and it started out like this. I was in a Muslim country, and I had this moment. We were told to dress with, cover our long sleeves and not show any skin or anything. And we did that, all of us, and for a while we were out in this garden with a lot of people, and I was just hot, so I took my kind of blouse down, so I showed my shoulders just for a few, you know for me it was probably just seconds. So I kind of showed my shoulders for just a little bit, and the sensation for just this, in these moments, was that I was completely eaten by some male people staring. And this, so I just, whoa, okay, I understand, I'm doing something wrong. So I put my blouse on again. But my reaction was, whoa, is that so? This whole thing with that we cannot show the hair because then we're too sexual, and now I don't know if everything is correct of what I'm saying, but like
right.
the excuse of that women in some parts of the world needs to cover up their hair because the males cannot like behave because they're so sexual if they don't. And to me, like a Swedish Icelandic being, yeah, my reaction was, is that true? I'm going to see if I can be a sexual living being woman without hair and see how that works. Yeah. Yeah. So I had to go home and tell my dear life partner and my children, I'm going to take my hair off. And I told my clients, when you meet me next week, I'm going to have a shaved head. So I have to prepare everyone. And they say, no, 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 don't do it. Don't do it. But I did. And I had a little long, some long things in the bang there still. But
Oh,
it was like an experiment. And it was so much fun to do it. So I had a shaved head. for 10 years. And this is when we had sex daily. So it's very possible to be a sexual being without hair.
I love you so much.
Mm.
Yes, you are a pioneer. You
Mm.
are a pioneer, Matilda. It's awesome. I loved when you told me the story, and I thank you for telling it again here. All right, so let's see. If somebody gets the book, which I would encourage them to do,
Mm.
if somebody gets the book, what are some of the things they're likely to face or they're likely to be confronted with, like with reading the book? Because I'm sure, I know it wasn't easy for you. I know it was like, it poured out of you, but I know that it was challenging.
Mm.
So what might somebody be challenged by if they
Yeah,
purchase this book? And by the way, if you're listening to this, you should definitely purchase this book. So,
and
make no mistake.
you will find it on Amazon it's called Daily Sex by Matilda Gregersdotter. Yeah. But what I know now from having met all these people sharing, with the chapter, is that the reflection is that, whoa, it's very intimate. So you have to kind of be ready to be intimate with yourself. This is what happens when you read. Yeah. So you will probably not read the whole thing one evening, even though it's like a small, it's like a small book. It's not a thick book. It's like a very light, it's 33 very short chapters.
Yeah. They might be like 2 pages, 3 pages like that. They're very short. But
the thing is that it pours out of me, the text, and but it's not about me. The whole aim is that the reader start to, wow, oh, she's talking about her vagina, and she's talking about the nipple and some touch here and how she feels in the body. Can I feel my body? It's like to start to, oh, if she feels that, what do I feel? Can I feel my thighs right now? How is the clothes against my body feeling right now? So you want to get like, prepare yourself to be kind of touched and start to feel kind of. That's what I would love to happen.
Yeah, that's great. I know the chapter that I read asked the questions, well, what is sensuality and what is sex? And is sex have to be between you and another person, or can sex be just you? And so there's a lot of questions in the intimacy, asking people, inviting people to go in and say, what do I feel about this? What do I feel? Exactly. What do I feel?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions in the book also, because it's not, well, it's just written from trying to describe how it is to live in a bliss body, because that was not the case. All the activity has made it possible for me to have sexual energy running through my body through the whole day now. Yeah, and it doesn't need to have to go out. And that kind of sounds funny for many people probably, but because it was not that way. And the book is about the journey, what has happened, what trainings I've done also. And
yeah. So what Matilda's talking about, everybody, is being able to have sexual energy flowing through your body at all times and be contained. Like it's not, she's not containing it and keeping it in one little area of her body, which is only ready for a certain act. She's letting it flow throughout her whole body all the time, but it's contained in that it doesn't have to do anything or go anywhere or be put on anybody. That was a very important lesson for me in my life. Like people told me when I was at Landmark, when I was younger, that I did everything through sexual, putting my sexuality on everything. And I said, no, I did not. I mean, I didn't. I just denied it. It was so humiliating that I totally denied it, especially when I was in the introduction to the Form Leaders program. And they said, no, you got your sexual energy on all of us. It was 500 people. And I was like, no, I didn't. I did not. But now what I know, because of who I am in the world today, I did.
Yeah. because we're not trained. You know, I had this programming also while starting of getting turned on. It was like, oh, this is embarrassing, or this is wrong, or we need to peak this now to get it over with and take it away. You know, it's like we're not used to being able to feel whatever we're feeling and being able to contain that.
Right.
So that's like a huge, and the amazing thing is that sexual energy and our life energy is in everyone at all the time. But it's about like allowing turned on, super hot, juicy, kind of to be flowing and not having to take it away, but to allow it and contain it, like you say, in a responsible way.
Yeah, it's the life force. So that's why you're so alive. It's so great.
Yeah, and it's
so
so
great.
amazing also because when I can do that, I can meet other beings who can also be that, and just the tiniest interaction is like a whole world, because the body is so sensitized, so we don't even
Yes.
have to come close. You know, the energy meets already. It's fantastic.
Yeah, fabulous. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we said it before, but we'll say it again. They can get the book on Amazon. It's called Daily Sex. You can't forget it. No, but who could forget this title? Daily Sex. And if you feel in your heart pounding right now and you're listening or watching us, and your heart is pounding and you're going, I don't think I should get that book. You should get that book. And if you and if you feel like this huge curiosity, like how do they do it? How did she do it? Then you should get the book. This, I contend that if people did this, they would be too busy doing this to make war. I contend that if people did this, they would be too busy doing this, making love, having daily sex, to like mess with other people. There would be no time. Your creativity would be used for connection and for creating life-giving things, not destructive, mass weapons that just weapons of destruction. That nobody who's making love every day could make mass weapons of destruction. It's just not possible.
You're so kind of lit up, like every cell is kind of vibrating. The bliss is kind of just, it's like it.
Yeah.
Vibration in the body is like concretely, rising. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, Matilda, so they can get it on Amazon, Daily Sex by Matilda Gregersdotter.
Yes.
I'm trying to say it the way you say it.
Yeah, Gregersdotter. That's correct.
Gregersdotter.
Yeah,
okay. And how else, where else can people find you? Where can they find you to find more about
just
you?
The name, which is hard to spell, but MatildaGregersdotter.com in one word. Matilda with only one T and no H, and Gregersdotter. Yeah, we have to spell
well, I will put that. That will be in the description for the show. I will put that in the description for the show.
That's beautiful, and that's where they will find, or when you are speaking, sharing, for example, with one of the chapters, so they will find all the chapter sharings there on this site.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being my guest. And more importantly, thank you so much for doing what you do.
Yes, I'm very excited to hear how this lands with people now, what the reflection
is. Yes. Well, hopefully my people will give you all love and boosting and, like that. That's what I want. But I can make them do it. I just hope that they do, Matilda. Thank you so much. And everybody who has heard us or watched us today, please tune in next time when I will have another amazing guest. You listen, I know I have some of the most amazing guests in the world, and Matilda is no exception. Like, she is amazing. So hopefully you got something out of this. What you can do with yourself for your own practice. And next time I'll have another guest who also will add to your sex and your happiness. So thank you for being with me today. And this is Laurie Handlers saying bye and namaste. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to Sex and Happiness.
Bye.